Hi, this is Eric, Parts Doctor, and today we're going to show you how to access the most commonly replaced parts on your LG washer. These instructions also apply to some Kenmore models that were manufactured by LG. These Kenmore model numbers have 796 as the first 3 digits of their model number. If you need a new part for your washer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we sell parts for all major appliance brands. We've created longer videos for each of these parts that explain symptoms, shows you how to test them, and shows you how to reinstall them. We'll leave each of those videos linked in the description below. The first 4 parts that we're going to show you how to replace are all located under the top panel. First, we'll show you how to remove the top panel. For this repair, you'll need to disconnect power and water to the washer. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove these 2 screws on the back of the washer. Then slide the top panel back about ½ an inch and lift it up to remove it. If you're having problems removing the top panel, try sliding it forward slightly to lift it up. With the top panel removed, we'll start with the hot water inlet valve. The hot water inlet valve is located here. Gently pull off the electrical connector to disconnect it from the valve. Then, using a pair of pliers, remove the hose clamp from the valve. Leave it on the hose. Next, pull the hose to remove it from the valve. When pulling, move the hose side to side to make it easier to remove. This might require a good amount of force. Then, using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 2 screws on the back of the washer, holding the valve in place. If you need a new hot water inlet valve for your washer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. Now, we'll show you how to remove the cold water inlet valve. Since we've already shown you how to remove the top panel, we'll start the instructions from there. The water inlet valve is located here. Gently pull on the electrical connectors to disconnect all 3. Then, using a pair of pliers, remove one of the hose clamps from the hoses. Next, pull on the hose to remove it. Moving the hose side to side when removing it may make it easier. Then, remove the 2 other hoses from the water inlet. Then, on the back of the washer, remove the 2 Phillips head screws holding the inlet valve in place. If you need to purchase a cold water inlet valve, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we sell parts for all major appliance brands. Now, we'll show you how to replace the door lock. Since we've already shown you how to remove the top panel, we'll start the instructions from there. The door lock assembly is located here. Depress the locking tab and pull down on it to remove it from the door lock. Next, open the washer's door. Then, while supporting the assembly from inside of the washer, remove the 2 Phillips head screws. Then, remove the door lock from the washer. If you need to purchase a new door lock assembly, you can check our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. Now, we'll show you how to remove the suspension spring. Since we've already shown you how to remove the top panel, we'll start the instructions from there. There are 2 suspension springs in the washer, one on each side, located here and here. Using a flathead screwdriver, gently remove the plastic spring guard from the side of the washer's frame. Then string some paracord or small rope through the underside of the spring to assist lifting it to remove the spring from the washer's frame. Next, remove the bottom of the spring from the tub of the washer. If you need a new suspension spring for your washer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. The next two parts that we're going to show you how to replace are both located behind this panel on the back of your washer. First, we'll start with the rotor assembly. For this repair, you'll need to disconnect power and water to the washer. On the back of the washer, use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the 4 screws holding the back panel to the washer. Next, lift the back panel till the bottom retainers are free. Then, lower the back panel to free the top retainers and set it aside. Then, using a 17mm socket, remove the bolt holding the rotor in place. When removing this bolt, we suggest removing it with an impact drill. If you do not have an impact drill, you can remove it by hand, but you will need to hold the rotor by hand and use a jerking motion to break it free. Or, if possible, have someone hold the basket in place. Next, slide the rotor off of the washer. You may need to wiggle it from side to side to get it to slide off, as there are magnets on the inside of the assembly. If your rotor is damaged and you need to purchase a new one, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. Now, we'll show you how to remove the stator assembly. Since we've already shown you how to remove the rotor assembly, we'll start the instructions from there. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 6 bolts holding the stator assembly in place. Next, gently slide the stator off of the washer, being careful as it is still connected by an electrical connector. Then, gently depress the retaining tabs on the electrical connectors to remove them. If you need a new stator assembly, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. The next two parts that we're going to show you how to replace are the drain pump and the door boot seal. Both are located behind the front panel of the washer. First, we'll show you how to remove the front panel. For this repair, you'll need to disconnect power and water to the washer. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove these 2 screws on the back of the washer. Then, slide the top panel back about 1/2 inch and lift it up to remove it. If you're having problems removing the top panel, try sliding it forward slightly to lift it up. When working inside the washer, be careful as it has sharp edges. Then, turn the washer around to access the door lock assembly. The door lock assembly is located here. Depress the locking tab and pull down on it to remove it from the door lock. Next, on the front of the washer, fully extend the detergent drawer. Then, depress the retaining tab here and remove the drawer. Using a Phillips screwdriver, remove the 2 screws on the front of the control panel. Next, on the back of the washer's control panel assembly, remove the Phillips head screw located here. Then, lift up on the control panel while you rotate the top of it away from the washer to release the retaining tabs. Carefully set the control panel on top of the washer as it is still connected by electrical connectors. On the bottom of the washer, open the filter access cover. Next, remove the hose from the retainer. Caution: when removing these parts, water will leak from the washer, so have a mop, towel, or wet vac ready. With a bucket and towel nearby, unscrew the cap of the hose and let the water drain out. When draining your washer, be careful as you will be draining all the water out of it. You may need to use a bigger bucket or a wet vac to get all the water without spilling it. Next, remove the 2 screws holding the filter access cover in place. Then, gently prime the top of the filter's housing to remove it. Next, remove the screw here on the bottom of the front panel. Then, open the washer's door. Open the gasket clamp and remove it from the door. If you don't have a gasket clamp pliers, you can use a flathead screwdriver to gently pry up on the edge of the spring to slide it out of the gasket. Gently remove the door boot seal from the front panel and push it into the tub of the washer. Then close the door and remove the 5 remaining screws holding the front panel on. Then tilt the front panel away from the washer so that these retaining tabs on the bottom release. Next, set the front panel aside for later. Now, with the front panel removed, we'll show you how to remove the drain pump. The drain pump is located here. Caution, when removing these parts, water will leak from the washer, so have a mop, towel, or wet vac ready. Next, using slip joint pliers, remove the hose clamp holding the drain hose onto the drain pump. Then, carefully remove the hose. Then, depress the clamp on the tub to pump drain hose and remove the clamp. Then, remove the hose. Then, using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove these 2 screws on the front of the washer's frame. Next, behind the drain pump, there will be a small locking tab that you'll have to depress before sliding the drain pump and housing back. Then, remove the drain pump from the washer, being careful as it is still connected by electrical connectors. Next, carefully remove the wires from the retainers on the pump housing. Then, remove both electrical connectors from the drain pump. Next, separate the drain pump from the pump housing by removing these 3 Phillips head screws. If you need a new drain pump, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. Now, we'll show you how to remove the door boot seal. Since we've already shown you how to remove the front panel, we'll start the instructions from there. The door boot seal is located here. Using a pair of slip joint pliers, remove the top hose clamp from the drain on the bottom of the seal. Then pull down on it to remove the drain from the seal. Next, slide a flathead screwdriver under the gasket clamp and gently pry it to remove it from the seal. Then, pull the seal away from the washer. If you need a new door boot seal, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we'll sell parts for all major appliance brands. And that's it for today's video, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and comment down below, and for more videos like this, please consider subscribing.